When I first started experimenting with Adobe Firefly, I'll be honest, I thought it was just another AI image generator. You type in a prompt, you get a decent picture, maybe something you could toss into a mood board or use as inspiration. It was fun, but it felt like a novelty, something you'd play with once or twice and then move on. But with the new updates in 2025, Adobe has completely shifted Firefly into a serious creative powerhouse. This isn't just a little experiment anymore. It's becoming the kind of tool that saves creators, entrepreneurs, and businesses hours of work they'd normally spend in Photoshop, Premiere, or Illustrator. The first thing that stood out to me with this update is how much better Firefly has gotten at video. In the past, the AI-generated clips looked a little off. Movements were jittery, animations felt robotic, and backgrounds didn't quite feel alive. But now, the motion fidelity is on a whole different level. When you generate a scene, you see smoother transitions, more natural camera pans, even realistic details like shadows shifting, water flowing, or people moving in ways that actually look believable. It's one of those moments where you realize, okay, this is no longer just a preview of the future. The future is here. And that realization was honestly a micro win for me. It made me rethink what was possible. Instead of spending hours trying to animate something from scratch, I could get a draft video in minutes. Even if it wasn't perfect, it gave me a starting point that felt real enough to build on. That tiny time saver freed me up to focus more on ideas and less on mechanics. Another feature that really changes the game is composition reference. If you've ever tried to recreate the exact style of a clip or keep a consistent visual layout across multiple pieces, you know how frustrating it can be. I'd often look at an ad or a social post and think, I want my video to have that same framing and flow, but pulling it off took way too long. Now, Firefly has a way to fix that. You can upload a reference video, and the AI will structure your new content to match the same angles, pacing, and vibe. It's like having a built-in creative director making sure everything stays consistent. And then there's the fun side, the style presets. Adobe clearly listened to creators who want more than just photorealism. With this update, you can instantly switch your videos or images into styles like claymation, anime, watercolor, or sketch art. It's not just about making things look pretty. It's about unlocking new ways to present your ideas. Maybe you're working on a product demo and you want one version that feels sleek and modern, and another that feels playful and animated. Instead of hiring two different teams or spending weeks experimenting with filters, Firefly lets you generate both options in minutes. But the feature that really surprised me, and honestly, I didn't even expect Adobe to add this, is sound generation. Firefly can now create sound effects directly from a text prompt. If you want the sound of ocean waves, city streets, or footsteps echoing in a hallway, you just type it in. And if you want to guide the timing, you can literally record yourself making the rough noises, and Firefly will transform them into realistic effects. That's like having a full sound design team working behind the scenes for you, instantly. For me, this was another micro win. I'm not a sound designer, and usually I'd spend hours digging through royalty-free sound libraries, hoping to find the perfect clip. But now, I can just tell Firefly what I want, and it generates something custom that syncs to the video automatically. It's such a relief to save that kind of time and energy, and here's the best part. Firefly is no longer limited to just Adobe's own AI. With this update, you can actually choose third-party models right inside the platform. So if you like the way another engine handles cinematic visuals or abstract art, you can switch over in seconds. It's like having a toolbox with multiple creative brains you can tap into, all in one place. By the end of my first day testing these updates, I had already created videos, experimented with different art styles, and even layered in sound effects, all without opening a single extra program. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just an update. This was Adobe redefining what Adobe Firefly really is. It's no longer just an AI image tool, it's becoming a complete creative ecosystem. So after diving into Firefly's new video and sound features, I want to talk about what might actually be the most powerful part of this update. The way Adobe is making the creative process more connected, more collaborative, and honestly, a whole lot more freeing. Because it's one thing to have a tool that generates cool stuff, but it's another to have a tool that fits naturally into the way you actually work day to day. One of the updates that really caught my attention is called Firefly boards. Picture an infinite canvas where you can drop in images, sketches, video clips, prompts, even rough drafts of ideas. Before this, my brainstorming process looked like a mess of sticky notes, screenshots, and random files scattered across Google Drive. I'd have inspiration in one place, feedback in another, and half the time I'd lose track of where I put things. But Firefly boards change that. Suddenly, you've got everything in one space. You can organize ideas visually, rearrange them, and actually see your creative direction coming together, like a digital mood board that evolves into a full production plan. And it's not just a solo tool. Firefly boards are collaborative. That means if you're working on a team project, you can invite your teammates in and everyone can drop their own visuals, notes, and comments in real time. Imagine you're working on a brand campaign. One person is sketching out a concept, another is experimenting with video prompts, and someone else is adding sound ideas, all in the same space, live, without the endless back and forth of email attachments or file transfers. That's a huge micro win right there. It's like cutting out hours of miscommunication and instantly seeing your ideas line up. Now, here's another update that feels fresh. The Firefly mobile app. This is something creators have been waiting for, and Adobe finally delivered. It's available on iOS and Android, and it basically lets you take Firefly anywhere. And that might sound small, but think about it. How many times have you been out in the world, maybe grabbing coffee or walking around, and you get hit with a random creative idea? Normally, you'd jot it in your Notes app and hope you'd remember to revisit it later. But now, you can just pull out your phone, type a quick prompt, and instantly generate an image or a video concept on the spot. By the time you get back to your computer, your creations are already waiting for you in Firefly, synced and ready to refine. That was another one of those little victories for me. It gave me momentum because I wasn't losing ideas to forgetfulness anymore. But here's where Adobe really dropped a novelty factor. Firefly is no longer just about Adobe's own AI models. They've opened the doors to what they're calling partner models. That means you can use Firefly as a hub and switch between engines like Google's VO, Runway's Gen models, or other third-party tools right inside the same platform. And that changes the game. Because let's be real, no single AI model is perfect at everything. Some create hyper-realistic landscapes, others generate stylized characters, and some are just better at motion. Now you can choose the right tool for the job without having to leave the Firefly environment. It's like having an entire creative team at your fingertips, each with their own specialty. And then there are Adobe's own upgrades. Firefly's Image Model 4 and the more advanced 4 Ultra version have leveled up dramatically. The detail is sharper, the lighting feels more natural, and you can control perspective and style with much finer precision. This was another micro win for me. I used to generate something in Firefly and think, okay, this is cool, but I'd still need to spend hours in Photoshop to make it look polished. Now, half the time, the output is already good enough to use right away. What ties everything together is the deeper integration with Creative Cloud. Let's say you generate a product image in Firefly. In the past, getting it into Photoshop or Illustrator meant downloading and re-uploading. Now it's seamless. You can move assets directly between apps. If you generate a video, you can send it straight into Premiere Pro for editing, complete with any sound effects Firefly created. That kind of smooth workflow doesn't just save minutes, it saves hours. It keeps you in the flow state, and that's where the best creative work happens. I picture myself looking back months from now with a full library of videos and assets already published, and I'm so glad I didn't wait to start. At the end of the day, Adobe Firefly's massive 2025 update isn't just an upgrade. It's a reminder that technology is moving fast, and the creators who take action now are going to be the ones ahead of the curve later. If you're serious about creating content, whether it's for your business, your brand, or just your own passion projects, Firefly is the tool that saves you time, energy, and money.